Hello, back again with the week 12 reflection. I took a couple weeks off. I hate to do that. I hate to do that to you, but um, I've been kind of swamped with other work recently, and I kind of just haven't gotten around to making videos like I used to, even though I enjoy it more. But I'm back again. Got some extra time. Figured why not. So let's get into it. So first question, what are some specific ways that you think writing will contribute to your personal and professional lives in big and small ways? So I think writing is actually super, super helpful when it comes to even verbally communicating. So just for your personal life, I feel like becoming a better writer almost allows you to express your ideas in a better way. And some people in their head, this kind of happens to me, some people in their head, it's easy for them to know what they're going to say. But then when it comes to actually saying it or putting it down on paper, that's when it gets hard. So I feel like if you're able to think it and then get it down on paper and write it, that's going to make you more quick-witted and ultimately be able to communicate better. And this affects your personal life because, you're constantly communicating with people all day, whether it be your friends, whether it be your family, or just, random people day to day. So, people in your classes, your teachers, you use it all day. And it's something that in this world you really need to be able to do, even not even from a workforce perspective, but just a personal perspective. You just want to be able to talk to people, and you don't want to be a robot. You don't want to just sit there and not know what to say, not be able to express your ideas or communicate your opinions. And because everyone's ideas are different, and I feel like everyone's perspectives are valid, and everyone's perspective should be shared. So yeah, that affects personal life a lot in big ways. Just looking at it deeper, and just you know you communicate with important people that you need to be able to communicate with, and even on a smaller level, you want to be able to feel comfortable around your family and be able to express your ideas around your family. And I feel like that's really important for a person, is just being able to express themselves in whatever way that might be. And then professional life, I see how this relates directly to my career that I'm looking into right now. Obviously, I'm a business major, and I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do with that, but I do think that I have somewhat of a passion for marketing. So I think that, this fits perfectly into, professional life. If you want to be able to market to people, whether you're a door-to-door salesman, you need to be able to communicate with people. You could have, this kind of relates to last week, you could have, you know, the best marketing strategies ever in your head. You've studied everything, you know exactly what to do, but then you're not a people person, and you can't express those ideas, and you can't communicate with these people, and you can't make those sales. So even if you know how to do it, it doesn't matter, because you can't communicate with them, you're not getting a deal. So, and that even, it can relate to, just marketing ads in general, just how to communicate, how to grab that person's attention through your writing. And even though it's not, a lot of writing, it could be a key phrase, some key words, a catchy saying, whatever it is. Those ideas need to be expressed out on a billboard, a commercial, and you need to be able to communicate these ideas with writing. And it's a direct correlation of, if you're going to be a good marketer or not, if businesses are going to hire you, if businesses are going to keep keep you around at their company? Are they going to give you raises? Ultimately, you decide how all that goes. And I feel that you could have all the marketing strategies in the world, and if you don't know how to communicate those or write those or however you choose to express those, it doesn't work out. So writing, 100%, super important and contributes a lot to personal and professional life. Number 2, what are some specific ways that you think being able to use quantitative information effectively will contribute to your personal and professional lives, also in big and small ways? So I feel like quantitative information, obviously super important. Looking at, statistics of everything. And from a certain point of view, you need to be able to look at the numbers perspective. Obviously, all the time, does it work out, numbers perspective? No, because there are unexpected things that can come along and they can change the numbers. But, like, for example, COVID, no one would have knew that the stock market would have, crashed months before COVID happened, and it did. So that affects the numbers, and unexpected things like that can happen and ultimately, affect your, affect that. So I think that personally wise, quantitative numbers can, affect your decision making. I feel that, you can look at, obviously you're not looking, searching on Google, what are the statistics of this? What are the statistics of this? But, in your everyday, day-to-day life, you need to be able to look at things from a number perspective. And, I think something that goes along with this for me is just like time management. You gotta know what, how many minutes this is going to take. How many minutes is this going to take? How can I fit this into my schedule? All these things are, a quantitative piece of information, because if I know my KC for my business class, my knowledge check, takes 30 minutes and my PAR takes 15 minutes, I know I got to separate a time in my day for 45 minutes where I can lock in, get those done. And if not, you put yourself in a position where, you could pay for the punishments in that perspective, or in that situation. And, you might not make the time for those, or you might, underestimate the time that you need to complete those. And yeah, it's a big playing in time management. And I feel like decision making wise, you're always scanning around, looking for bad and good. And I feel like knowing a difference between a good and a bad decision could ultimately come down to quantitative decision or information, because that if you go punch someone and assault them, 99% of the time you're going to pay the repercussions with the police. So that's something that you're not going to get away with. It's a bad decision, and therefore you shouldn't do it. And, in other situations, there are other situations where, you could get away with something. Maybe you cheat off your buddy's homework, and even though it could be a bad decision, you know that you're most likely going to get away with it because teachers aren't, really examining the homework like that, looking for, people that are, cheating on the homework or whatever. And that you could get away with that, so you're going to take the risk there. And I feel like that plays into, and those are just two examples. That last one maybe wasn't the best example, but, I feel like quantitative information really affects on your decision making and what you can get away with and what you can't get away with. And then professionally, again, this applies directly to, a marketing executive, because you need to look at what ads are trafficking the most amount of people, what billboards are contributing to sales, and all these things you can tell from, the technology that we have nowadays, is that, you have these quantitative, numbers and data all accessible to you. You can check your sales. Yahoo Finance has all the information on a company. You can make decisions there. How your sales are doing and how these different marketing campaigns are boosting, the sales of your products and services. So I feel in that way, professionally, you almost have to look at a quantitative perspective. Maybe in personal life, there's some gut calls, there's some other contributing factors, but, you need to look at the numbers when it comes to being a marketing executive, to ultimately make the best decision. And then number 3, what support do you think you need in developing your writing and quantitative reasoning skills? So I think a lot of this, at the end of the day, comes down to teaching, effort, and repetition. I think that those are the 3 things that will really support you in developing those skills, because 1, you need to have a good teacher that cares about it, cares about teaching you these skills, and is going to put in the effort to do so. And at that same level, you need to be willing to put in that effort as well and learn from them, because if they have good information that they're teaching you, you need to listen and you need to use that information, or it could hurt you in the long run. And that could be whether your grades are, it could hurt you with just developing these skills. And lastly, repetition. I feel like you need to do, skills over and over and over again in order to really develop them and become successful with them. Because, you're not going to just walk in and, know how to write and, have perfect writing skills and have perfect quantitative reasoning skills, because that's just not the case. And everyone has to learn from someone. So I believe that, if you're willing to do those 3 things, you have that teacher that's going to be able to, relay this information to you, and you have that effort where you're going to actually go into there to learn something, and you're going to keep doing it no matter what, no matter how many times you struggle, how many times you fail, you're going to keep doing it. And those are the 3 things that are really going to support you with developing those skills. And I feel like even if you miss out on one of those things, that, your skills aren't going to be as sharp, and it's going to affect you in the long run, because these are things that come up within everyday life, whether it's communicating, whether it's doing it for a professional, for a business, and it's your job to do that, then I think that, you're not going to have it as easy of a time of doing that. And I think that you need those 3 things in order to really prosper in those skills. And I think that pretty much wraps it up. I'm sorry again for, kind of going MIA for a little bit on these, but I'm back. And I'll see you next week, hopefully. Thank you.